Today we're going to talk about fears. So I took a psychology class a couple semesters ago. It was called the Psychology of Personality. And in that class, I learned that we are innately born with only two fears: the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. The rest are all learned. So it's really a discussion of primal fears, which are the ones that we are born with, and intellectual fears, which we are conditioned into throughout our lives. This will serve as a foundation to a later conversation that I'm going to have, more targeted on our fears specifically, and more relating to the intellectual side of our fears that we have learned throughout our lives. So why are we scared of things in our lives? I think a lot of it can be boiled down to society's conditioning and the pressures that we are receiving from the life that we live. So think about the fear of rejection. We're not born with that. That is socially conditioned into us. And that's something that as we go through our lives, trials and tribulations, rejection is bound to happen at least once. And failure as well, the fear of failure, anxieties, these are all learned fears that we have. With social media nowadays and just the constant pressure that it puts on the youth, people my age that are growing up, even older people as well, who are expected to live up to a certain standard, it's really easy to form all these new fears that we weren't even born with, so-called intellectual fears. So when we're approaching, managing, and dealing with our own fears, I think it's important to remember that these things are learned. You were not born with this fear, so it should be something that you can reverse, a process that you can undo in order to get back to our natural state of only having the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. Again, like I mentioned with social media and today's society, we're definitely in a digital age. It makes people think that they need to be somebody that they're really not. And I definitely see this happening in our modern day all too often. People are playing the victim card, don't feel in control of their lives, and can't seem to manage the responsibility of taking life into your own hands. Everybody just feels so hopeless and lost due to the pressures that are being put upon them. As I share my message and my own journey of self-improvement, I guess I want you to just keep in mind that you only have two innate fears. Everything else is a construct of your imagination that has been conditioned into you by the pressures of our society. And if you feel like you can't do anything against these fears, just trust me that there is a solution. You were not born with this. You will find a way to overcome it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.